Keeping safety front of mind is all about communication. Welcome to the Farm Safety Roundup, a podcast series focused on important conversations to help keep farmers, their families, and their workers safe. Farm Safety Roundup is brought to you by the agricultural team at Workplace Safety and Prevention Services. With today's timely topic, I'm your host, Shaun Haney. Let's get to it. Shaun Haney here with RealAgriculture, and it's time for another episode of the Farm Safety Roundup. Today we're going to talk about grain blitzes with ESDC and WSPS. You know, if you're a grain producer, is your operation federally or provincially regulated? It's a distinction actually that really kind of matters. The Occupational Health and Safety Branch in Employment and Social Development Canada regularly conducts workplace inspection blitzes. And if you work in grain production, you know how essential it is to keep workers safe, especially around grain handling equipment, silos, and storage. In this episode today, we're going to unpack what blitzes mean for grain farmers. We'll explore what inspectors are looking for, why inspections are happening, and how health and safety partners like WSPS can help you prepare, stay compliant, and prevent incidents on your farm. Let's welcome Jay Remzik, who is Health and Safety Consultant with Workplace Safety and Prevention Services. Also, Bruce Christianson, Ontario Regional Director and Regional Operations and Compliance Directorate of the Labor Program at ESDC. First, Jay, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me.
And Bruce, good to have you on the show.
Thanks, Sean. Happy to be here.
Okay, so it's important grain farmers understand whether their operation is federally or provincially regulated. Let's start there. Bruce, how do I know?
Yes, well, most farm operations in Canada, including the actual growing of grain, are regulated provincially, so under each province's health and safety legislation. But where the labor program gets involved is in very specific grain-related operations that fall under federal jurisdiction. So specifically, these would be grain elevators, feed and seed mills, feed warehouses, and grain seed cleaning plants. So this means that for employees working in these specific parts of the grain sector, their workplace and employment conditions are governed by federal laws, so specifically the Canada Labor Code, rather than provincial laws.
Okay, so federal grain blitzes can raise a lot of questions for producers. What role does an organization like WSPS play in this type of initiative, Jay?
So in this type of initiative, we are strictly prevention. Okay, so we're not going to be involved in the actual inspections.
Okay,
but we have numerous consultants, right, that are familiar with both the Occupational Health and Safety Act in Ontario and then the Canadian Labor Code, which will be federally regulated. So we could assist these operations in regards to what particular regulations pertain to their business, and also, right, to ensure that the employer is taking every precaution reasonable for the protection of their workers. And that can be conducted through on-site visits to those particular farms or operations to determine, is it federal or is it provincial?
Now, Bruce, I guess, why are these blitzes important and why are they significant and walk us through here what an actual inspection would look like, because when I hear inspection I'm like, oh, it's kind of to catch me in that aha, or there's obviously an opportunity for preventive and corrective actions and things like that, but what does the inspection look like?
Okay. Well, let's start why these blitzes are important. Well, they're important because grain handling is one of the highest risk activities in the federal jurisdiction. In fact, in 2023, this industry had the highest fatal injury frequency rate, so with 2 fatal injuries recorded that year. So common hazards in the industry include confined spaces, getting caught in moving parts, dust and explosions, engulfments and suffocation hazards, as well as falls from heights. So the proactive inspections our labor program health and safety officers conduct include a physical walkthrough with the workplace parties and a review of relevant health and safety documentation to determine if there are any health and safety issues, and an opportunity to educate the parties on if there's anything that needs to be corrected.
Now, Jay, if anybody's ever been through an inspection or an audit before, you know that where you really help yourself is being proactive. It's the pre-work. It's the being prepared. So, what steps can WSPS take to help grain producers prepare for an inspection, and what resources does WSPS provide to help operations build a strong safety program?
Yeah, and that's where we really step in regards to the being preventative, because we do have numerous resources, checklists on our website, on the agricultural landing page within WSPS. We can assist these operations in regards to hazard assessments. Bruce just mentioned confined space. We have specialists that are specifically trained and deal with confined space hazards. Templates. Don't have a policy, right? We have those templates that we can provide to the operation. As well, we're not just going to provide the resources and let them do it on their own. If they need further assistance, we can help them in regards to that, and then keep them up to date with ongoing initiatives or blitzes and new resources that we have.
So Bruce, what additional information or resources does the labor program have to help our Real Ag listeners ensure their workplaces are as safe as possible?
Yeah. Well, in addition to what Jay just mentioned, ahead of our blitzes, we'll be sending educational information to the federally regulated grain workplaces. So this will include key inspection themes of the blitz, relevant industry hazard information, and practical steps to prepare for NOSH inspection. We'll also be sharing hazard alerts that we've developed with information sheets relevant to the grain handling industry.
Okay. And of course, grain handling is really fundamental to farm life, but also one of the most dangerous parts of agriculture, for sure, as you earlier described. Grain tragedies, they're quick. They obviously happen very fast, but they don't have to happen really at all, and prevention's a big part of this. Bruce, tell us about the first blitz of 2026 on this matter.
Okay. Yeah, that's really important. So a blitz will take place in January or February of 2026 in Ontario. So during this blitz, our officers will assess compliance with key areas. So specifically, we'll be looking at machine guarding, so ensuring that proper guarding and lockout procedures are in place. We'll be looking at conveyor safety. So again, is guarding, emergency stops, and lockout protocols in place. And finally, confined spaces. So are these spaces identified with proper signage? Are there risk assessments done ahead of time? And entry emergency procedures in place? And are employees trained on all of these for confined spaces? After the blitz, the labor program will be sharing a summary of its results and insights. So we aim to have this by the spring of 2026, and it will highlight where the sector is doing well and where safety improvements are still needed. And finally, I guess for listeners outside of Ontario, it's important to note that the labor program regularly conducts proactive inspections in the grain industry across Canada. So the information shared today applies to all of them. So please use the information you got from today and to take the necessary steps to keep your workers safe.
And Bruce, again, these blitzes we're talking about, this is for only the Ontario market, correct?
The one that we have planned for now, but as I've mentioned, we have activities in the grain industry across Canada on a regular basis, because the grain industry is one of our priority sectors for the labor program.
Okay, great stuff. Well, hey, Bruce, thanks so much for joining us here today in the Farm Safety Roundup.
Thank you.
And Jay, it's great to chat with you again. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Shaun. Appreciate it.
Hey, great stuff. So if you want to strengthen your safety program in your grain handling operation, you can access some additional practical tools at the website of wsps.ca/farm safety. This has been another episode of the Farm Safety Roundup with Real Agriculture, and we'll talk to you again soon. Cheers, everybody. With agricultural expertise to help keep farmers, their families, and their workers safe, Farm Safety Roundup is a podcast series produced by Real Agriculture with the team of ag specialists at Workplace Safety and Prevention Services. Go to the website wsps.ca/farmsafety. There you're going to find free health and safety resources, and you'll also be able to check this episode's show notes for information on the topics discussed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time to talk all things farm safety right here on the Farm Safety Roundup.